Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the...
Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us. For this special figure showcase, we're going to be looking at the 2012 Transformers Prime Skyquake figure. So, what we're going to do with this video, we're going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. We'll have a look at the accessories that come with him, and again, how they can be used. We'll have a look at other figures that have shared the same mould, like that one, and of course there's one more. We will also do some comparisons with him and his original Generation 1 self. Doesn't even pretty much fit in it. And as I'm lucky enough to have one still in the packaging, we can have a look at the artwork and everything that's going on with that box. Okay then, let's make a start. And I absolutely love this figure, and to be honest, it's probably one of the only Transformers Prime figures I've got a couple of, and that's purely because really like it, mainly because, as you've just seen, it did have a Generation 1 release, which I'm going to show you right now, and I love this figure. It's so cool. But the only problem with this figure is, for those of you who are unaware, he suffers from what's known as gold plastic syndrome, and I'm not going to talk too much about him, but that means where this can break off quite easily, so I'm being super careful with him. But this figure in front of you is the original G1 Skyquake, and I always love this figure, and I think that's probably why I love this one as well. Right, let's move him out of the way. It's not about you. He's got his own video, by the way, if you want to see a bit more about him. But this guy, I think he looks great. He really does. Funnily enough, I didn't show you with that one, but he's got a bit of a homage to G1 as well, with the fact that he's got this on the back of his head, which means that it's sort of like a little bit of light piping. And you can see that his eyes will glow up just a little bit. And again, that's a little bit of a homage to G1. But the figure itself is brilliant. It's a Voyager class figure. So the articulation, there's loads of it. You can see you've got a ball and socket joint there at the top of the shoulder. You've got movement in the elbow or the bicep joint, however you want to refer to it as. You can completely turn the wrists all the way around as well. You haven't got a waist swivel. This is fully connected into there. However, for hips, again, ball and socket. So up, down, all the way around, out to the side, knees. You haven't really got an ankle tilt either, but you can turn the toes up and down. It is mainly due to transformation process, but you can balance it. And the head, of course, will fully rotate, look up and down and everything. So it's a great figure. It does look so good, and I know it's just a redeco of Dreadwind, which I don't have a loose one, but I do have this, just to show you that you can see it's pretty much, well, it is identical apart from the paint job. They just slightly retooled the accessory, to be honest, but on the back he's exactly the same. We're going to see him in his jet mode anyway, and yeah, I just really like it. It looks so good. You've got this sword, which you can either put in his hand, or there's a 5mm peg there, which we can pop. If we pop this in his hand, just like so. Right, you've got this crazy big weapon, and unfortunately the batteries on this one has run out, and it folds out. I suppose it's a little bit like the mech tech weapons that were being used in the Dark of the Moon figures. It doesn't actually lock in place either, which is a little bit of a pain in the bum. But there you've got the big 5mm peg, and you've got a choice again. You can either pop it in his hands, on the side of his forearms. When he's in jet mode, you can just about make out through there that there's a port there, and of course you can attach it to the wings as well. If you're wondering what the illumination does when you extend it, this one, funnily enough, is still working. You can see that lights up when it's extended. But yeah, great figure. Let's pop this in his hand then. So you can pop it in his hand, as I say, like so, and you can extend it that way. But because it looks a little bit odd, I think it looks a little bit better, to be honest, on the side of his forearm. Oh, there goes his sword. And then if you could probably rest it into place. It'd look a little bit more like he's firing a huge Gatling gun from the side of him. Now, things that you need to be aware of with this figure. It's quite a cool transformation. Oh, there he goes. And I'm going to be doing that on a separate video because it's quite long-winded and it is really quite intricate. But a lot of these things, like you can see here, these, not only are they look good, but their dowels and their ports and everything clicks and folds into place. And no more so than this whole back piece. And this is notorious for breaking and being damaged. And if this gets broke, Unfortunately, it's completely broken. In fact, on TF Wiki, it does actually advise and say you can, if you want to, you can glue this down because it doesn't affect it when it's in the robot mode like so. And pretty much all of this will fold out as well. So you've got to be, it's quite ironic that the two Skyquake figures that they've released along the main lines both have things that can completely damage and then basically just break and fall apart. The original one having the gold plastic and this one having the very, very prone to damage and easily breakable huge backpack. It all folds over nicely. Another thing with this, some of the figures, the feet and the toes were actually assembled incorrectly as well, and that was another factory error. But yeah, look at him. I think he looks brilliant. There he is in robot mode. I think hopefully we've done him a bit of justice in robot mode before though. Let's just quickly get this guy out. And for those of you who've not seen this guy, this is the 2013 Timelines figure, and he is known as Megaplex. And he also, as you can see, shares the exact same mould. They've just redecoed him completely different as well. Right, okay, I'm going to be coming right back at you now, and he's going to be in his jet mode. Right then, so as you can see, we're back and he's in his alternate mode. Quick apologies for not doing the transformation on camera. I will be doing it in a separate video. It's just that I want to keep the length of the video down, and this is quite a long and intricate transformation process, and it really can take some time. I love the alternate mode. It's great. If I want to be super picky, you may have seen it already, and to be honest, I just don't know how to put them. It's the hands at the back. Now, I've seen so many different pictures, and people just, again, it's I suppose it's preference or how you can make it look like hands. I'm not too sure. Maybe that one's not too bad. The only, the saving grace for it really is that it's look, you can get them out there, you can just, that's only when they come into play, but you can fully turn them, as I said before, in the transformation process. You can turn them, in the first part of the video for the articulation process, you can turn them around however you want. I need to click them back under there as well in a second, but it's up to you. Maybe that's a bit better. That looks a little bit better. What I was referring to in robot mode, as you can see here, all these hinges, this is the part that, of course, if this gets broken and if this falls off, then it's unfortunately pretty much damaged forever. So you could actually, as I say, pretty much glue most of this down and it wouldn't affect it in robot mode at all, because what we've got here, these are the legs, there's the arms underneath it all, and then of course the front would fold down, and as you saw, the backpack here was just folded up a little bit, so you could still fold them parts of the wings up when it came to robot mode if you wanted to. Yeah, so it's not too detrimental. It's a great little figure. Let's have a look then. So we've got the weapons. Now you've got choices. So we've got 5mm port there and underneath the wings. So if you wanted to, there you go. There's the sword under one. And then this is a little awkward because obviously this doesn't lock into position. So you can pop it sort of into position there and then fold it out. And of course you've got to pretty much hold it there, but I suppose if you're playing with it anyway and you're spinning it around and it looks reasonable. But of course the main place for this to go would be on the roof there, and boom, there you go. Looks good. I like it. Weapon's probably a little bit too big if I'm being honest. And yeah, if I was choosing to display it, I'd be displaying it. If I was displaying it in this mode, I wouldn't have any of the accessories with it at all, to be honest. Even though the sword looks all right, it just makes it look uneven that you've only got one and nothing on the other side. Right, let's just quickly pop this over here. So let's have a look at the one in the box. We've already seen what it looks like when that used to light up. It doesn't anymore. And I love all that in the background there behind it, where you've got, as I say, the symbols and the fire in it all. There we go. It's obviously robots in disguise. Beautiful artwork there for Skyquake. And then on the back, again, pictures of both modes, and they are there, funnily enough. He's got the weapon on his forearm, though I had it. And funnily enough, he's put a sword underneath there anyhow. And of course, there you go. That's the Transformers Prime cast. And there is a little bit, if you want to read, I can hold it there and say pause, and you can have a little bit of a read all about him. But there you go, one of my favourite Transformers Prime figures, mainly due to the G1. I love the fact that it's got a G1 original. But a great toy. So I hope you enjoyed looking at him. I hope it brought back nice memories if you had one when you were a child. I've made this in 2021, so it's 9 years old already. That's crazy. And of course, I hope it helped you with your decision if you wanted to get one for yourself, because it's a great figure. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching and take care. Thanks for watching. Like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe.